Most people with diabetes are told to avoid rice completely because it spikes blood sugar. But here's the truth. Not all rice is created equal. In fact, three powerful grains can actually help lower A1C, improve insulin sensitivity, and even protect your nerves, kidneys, and heart. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive pills. They're everyday foods you can buy in almost any store. And here's the part most people don't know. It's not just the type of rice that matters, it's also how you cook it, cool it, and pair it with other foods. In this video, you'll discover the three best rice options for diabetics, why they work inside the body, and pro tips on cooking and portioning them so they support your blood sugar instead of harming it. Stay with me, because the last rice will completely change the way you think about rice forever. Third on list, brown rice. Brown rice, also known scientifically as Oryza sativa, is often seen as just the healthier cousin of white rice. But for people living with diabetes, it is far more than that. Unlike polished white rice, which loses its outer bran and germ during processing, brown rice keeps these nutrient-rich layers intact. That one simple difference changes everything, from how your body digests it, to how your blood sugar responds, to how your nerves, heart, and kidneys are protected in the long run. For diabetics who crave rice but fear the spikes, brown rice is one of the smartest swaps you can make. Let's break it down. 1 cup of cooked brown rice, about 195 grams, provides around 216 calories, 5 grams of protein, 1.8 grams of fat, and 45 grams of carbohydrates. The standout factor here is the 3.5 grams of dietary fiber, which slows down digestion and lowers the net carb impact. Its glycemic index falls between 50 and 55, significantly lower than white rice, which can shoot up to 73. That difference means brown rice raises your blood sugar much more slowly, giving your pancreas and insulin receptors less stress to deal with. The glycemic load of one serving is around 16, which is still moderate, but when eaten in portion-controlled servings, it becomes a tool for stabilization rather than a trigger for spikes. What makes brown rice truly beneficial for diabetics is not just the lower glycemic response, it's the minerals and compounds that ride along with it. Brown rice is rich in magnesium, delivering about 84 milligrams per cup, or nearly 20% of the daily value. Magnesium is vital for insulin receptor activity and glucose transport into the cells. Diabetics who are magnesium deficient tend to have higher HbA1c levels and more complications, so adding brown rice is a natural way to restore balance. Brown rice also contains manganese, selenium, and B vitamins like B1, thiamine, and B6, which support energy metabolism and nerve function. Research backs this up strongly. One study showed that replacing just 50 grams of white rice daily with brown rice reduced the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 16%. For people already diagnosed, those who switched saw fasting glucose drop by 10 to 12% and HbA1c fall by nearly 0.5 points over 3 months. These aren't small changes. They're clinically meaningful improvements that protect your heart, kidneys, and eyes from long-term diabetic damage. Speaking of complications, brown rice provides a shield on multiple fronts. Its high fiber content not only smooths blood sugar, but also lowers LDL cholesterol, reducing the burden on your arteries. Its selenium and polyphenols fight oxidative stress, which contributes to neuropathy and retinopathy. In fact, diets rich in whole grains like brown rice are associated with a 20 to 25% lower risk of cardiovascular disease in people with type 2 diabetes. That means every bowl is not just food, it's prevention against some of diabetes' deadliest complications. One unique benefit of brown rice is in weight control and satiety. White rice leaves you hungry quickly because it digests fast, but brown rice triggers satiety hormones like GLP-1 and peptide YY, keeping you fuller longer. For diabetics working to lose weight or manage appetite, this can be a game changer. In one clinical trial, overweight adults who replaced white rice with brown rice lost significantly more belly fat and had better insulin sensitivity after 12 weeks. Here's a pro tip. To get the most blood sugar-friendly version of brown rice, soak it for 30 minutes before cooking and avoid overcooking. This keeps the glycemic index lower and preserves more resistant starch, a form of carbohydrate that acts like fiber in the gut. A perfect diabetic-friendly plate could be half a cup of steamed brown rice, paired with grilled chicken breast and a generous serving of non-starchy vegetables like broccoli or spinach. This combination ensures fiber, protein, and healthy fats all work together to keep your blood sugar curve steady. Did you know? In many Asian cultures, brown rice was historically considered peasant food because it was less refined. But modern science shows that the humble grain people once looked down on is actually the one that heals. Of course, there's a myth that all rice is bad for diabetics. The truth? It depends on the type, the portion, and what you pair it with. Brown rice is proof that rice can be part of a diabetic diet when chosen and cooked wisely. Portion control is key. Stick to about half a cup cooked per meal and always balance it with protein and vegetables. One gentle caution: brown rice does contain more phytic acid, which can reduce the absorption of minerals like zinc and iron. But soaking or lightly fermenting the rice before cooking can reduce this effect significantly. For most people, the benefits of fiber, magnesium, and antioxidants far outweigh this drawback. Cost about 25 cents to 40 cents per cup cooked in the U.S., brown rice is an affordable staple that delivers long-term benefits. It stabilizes blood sugar, lowers cholesterol, supports nerve and heart health, and keeps you full, all in one bowl. So, while brown rice proves that not all rice has to spike blood sugar, the next variety isn't even a true rice at all. Yet it delivers nearly double the protein, powerful antioxidants, and kidney protection that diabetics desperately need. Second on list, wild rice. Wild rice, also known scientifically as Zizania aquatica, isn't technically rice at all. It's actually the seed of a grass native to North America, and for centuries it was a staple food among Native American tribes, valued for both its nutrition and healing properties. Today, modern research confirms what traditional wisdom always knew. Wild rice is one of the most powerful grains diabetics can eat. Its unique combination of protein, antioxidants, and minerals makes it a blood sugar-friendly food that protects the kidneys, nerves, and heart, while keeping you fuller longer than almost any other grain. Let's start with the basics. 1 cup of cooked wild rice, about 164 grams, contains just 166 calories, 7 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and only 35 grams of carbohydrates. Compare that to a cup of cooked white rice, which delivers more than 200 calories, barely 4 grams of protein, and almost no fiber. The difference is striking. Wild rice has nearly double the protein, triple the fiber, and a much gentler impact on blood sugar. Its glycemic index is around 45, putting it in the low range, and its glycemic load for a serving is just 16. That means wild rice raises blood sugar far more slowly than white rice or even many whole grains, making it a safe and stabilizing choice for diabetics. What makes wild rice stand out is its unusually high protein content for a grain. At 7 grams per cup, wild rice rivals some legumes in protein, and it contains a good balance of essential amino acids. For diabetics, this protein is crucial. It slows digestion, reduces post-meal glucose spikes, and helps preserve lean muscle mass, which improves insulin sensitivity. In fact, one study found that replacing refined carbs with wild rice improved insulin sensitivity by 15 to 18% in people with metabolic syndrome. That kind of improvement doesn't just lower fasting glucose. It helps reduce long-term A1C, protecting you from complications down the road. Wild rice is also packed with minerals that diabetics are often deficient in. Each serving provides about 52 milligrams of magnesium, 13% of the daily value, 166 milligrams of phosphorus, 16% of the daily value, and 2 milligrams of zinc, 20% of the daily value. Magnesium, as we've seen, is critical for glucose regulation and nerve health. Phosphorus supports energy metabolism and bone strength, while zinc strengthens immunity and helps with wound healing, a major concern for many diabetics. Together, this trio of minerals makes wild rice a natural therapy for the metabolic imbalances that diabetes creates. Another major advantage of wild rice is its antioxidant load. It contains phenolic compounds, flavonoids, and anthocyanins. the same types of antioxidants that make blueberries and black rice so protective. These antioxidants neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress that contributes to complications like neuropathy, nephropathy, and retinopathy. In fact, research shows that wild rice extract can reduce markers of oxidative stress by 25 to 30%, directly lowering the cellular damage caused by high blood sugar. This means every serving is not just filling your stomach, it's defending your organs. Kidney protection is another unique benefit. Diabetes is the leading cause of chronic kidney disease, often due to the constant strain of filtering excess glucose and oxidative byproducts. The combination of antioxidants, magnesium, and plant protein in wild rice helps reduce kidney inflammation and stabilize filtration rates. In one animal study, diabetic subjects given wild rice showed significant improvements in kidney enzyme markers compared to those fed refined grains. For people with diabetes, this translates into long-term kidney resilience and less risk of dialysis. Wild rice also plays a powerful role in appetite control and weight management. Thanks to its fiber and protein density, it triggers satiety hormones like GLP-1 and peptide YY, while reducing ghrelin, the hunger hormone. A single bowl of wild rice can keep you satisfied for hours, reducing the urge to snack on high glycemic foods. This makes it especially valuable for diabetics struggling with weight or insulin resistance. In fact, studies show that swapping refined rice for wild rice leads to lower daily calorie intake without intentional restriction, because the body naturally feels satisfied sooner. Here's a pro tip. Wild rice takes longer to cook than white or brown rice, often 40 to 50 minutes, but that slow cooking preserves its resistant starch and chewy texture, both of which lower its glycemic impact. To make it more diabetic-friendly, cook wild rice in low-sodium vegetable broth with onions, mushrooms, and garlic. This creates a hearty, blood sugar-friendly soup that delivers antioxidants, minerals, and satisfying flavor in every bite. A perfect portion is about half a cup cooked as part of your meal, paired with lean protein like fish or chicken, and plenty of vegetables. Here is fun fact. Wild rice was once so highly valued that it was used as a form of currency in trade among Native American tribes. Its rarity and nutrient density made it more than food. It was wealth and medicine in one. Today it remains a premium grain, usually priced between $1.50 and $2.50 per ounce in the U.S., but its benefits far outweigh the cost when compared to the long-term expense of diabetic complications. A common myth is that wild rice is just too expensive to eat regularly. But here's the truth. Because wild rice is so nutrient-dense, you don't need large portions to feel satisfied. Half a cup cooked provides all the benefits without straining your budget. Mixing wild rice with a small amount of brown rice or quinoa can also make it more affordable while still delivering powerful results. One gentle caution, some packaged wild rice blends are actually a mix of white rice with a small amount of wild rice. Always check the label and choose pure wild rice for the best diabetic benefits. So while many grains can weigh you down with blood sugar spikes and cravings, wild rice does the opposite. It stabilizes, heals, and satisfies. For diabetics, it's not just a grain, it's a protective food for the kidneys, nerves, and heart. And if wild rice is the grain that keeps you full and protected, the next one isn't really a grain at all, but it delivers rare, complete protein and minerals that can transform your diabetic diet. First on list quinoa, also known scientifically as Chenopodium quinoa, isn't technically a grain at all. It's a seed, but it's cooked and eaten like rice, which is why it's often called a pseudo-grain. For diabetics, quinoa is one of the smartest alternatives to traditional rice because it combines steady blood sugar control with something rare in the plant world: complete protein. That means it provides all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own, making it a perfect choice for supporting muscle, metabolism, and long-term diabetic health. Let's start with the basics. 1 cup of cooked quinoa, about 185 grams, contains 222 calories, 8 grams of protein, 39 grams of carbohydrates, and 5 grams of fiber. The net carbs per cup are about 34, but don't let that number scare you. the way quinoa digests is very different from white rice. Its glycemic index is around 53, putting it in the low to moderate category, and its glycemic load per cup is 13, significantly lower than white rice's 23. That means quinoa raises blood sugar much more slowly and gently, helping prevent spikes and crashes. In fact, research shows that replacing refined carbs with quinoa can lower post-meal glucose by 25%, a meaningful improvement for anyone trying to manage diabetes. The real power of Chinopodium quinoa lies in its protein. At 8 grams per cup, quinoa delivers nearly twice the protein of white rice, and it's complete, meaning it has lysine, methionine, and tryptophan, amino acids often missing in plant foods. For diabetics, this matters because protein slows the release of glucose, improves satiety, and helps maintain muscle mass, which directly improves insulin sensitivity. In one study, adults with type 2 diabetes who ate quinoa daily for 6 weeks showed improved fasting glucose and a 0.6-point reduction in HbA1c, demonstrating that this little seed has big metabolic effects. Quinoa is also a mineral powerhouse. One serving provides 118 milligrams of magnesium, about 30% of the daily value, 281 milligrams of phosphorus, 28% of the daily value, and 2.8 milligrams of iron, 15% of the daily value. Magnesium improves insulin signaling, phosphorus supports energy metabolism, and iron helps transport oxygen to tissues, crucial for diabetics who often suffer from fatigue. Quinoa also provides manganese, zinc, and copper, which protect the nervous system and support wound healing. With 77 micrograms of folate, 20% of the daily value, it also nourishes cells and supports fertility, a unique benefit for diabetics, since poor blood sugar control often disrupts reproductive hormones in both men and women. Another unique benefit is quinoa's impact on inflammation and gut health. Quinoa contains flavonoids like quercetin and kaempferol, antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in the pancreas and improve insulin release. It also acts as a prebiotic, feeding healthy gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids. These compounds lower systemic inflammation, one of the hidden drivers behind complications like neuropathy and nephropathy. In fact, research shows that diets including quinoa reduce inflammatory markers by 20 to 22%, protecting organs from long-term damage. Weight management is another area where quinoa shines. Its high fiber and protein content activates satiety hormones, like GLP-1, while lowering ghrelin, the hunger hormone. People who eat quinoa as part of their meals naturally consume fewer calories without feeling deprived. For diabetics, this translates to better weight control and improved insulin sensitivity over time. One study even found that overweight adults who swapped refined grains for quinoa experienced a significant reduction in belly fat and waist size, a critical win since abdominal fat drives insulin resistance. Here's a pro tip. To make quinoa more blood sugar friendly, always rinse it before cooking to remove bitter compounds called saponins. Cook it in vegetable broth with herbs and spices like garlic and turmeric to boost its antioxidant power. A perfect diabetic-friendly meal could be a quinoa salad with cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, olive oil, and lemon juice. This pairing combines protein, fiber, and healthy fats, everything your body needs to keep blood sugar balanced. For maximum mineral absorption, pair quinoa with healthy fats and citrus. A drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon juice not only enhance flavor, but also help your body absorb magnesium, zinc, and iron more efficiently. Did you know? Quinoa was called the mother grain by the ancient Incas, who believed it gave their warriors strength and stamina. Today, it's recognized globally as a superfood, and for good reason. It's one of the few plant foods that can replace meat or eggs in terms of protein quality, making it especially valuable for vegetarians and diabetics seeking plant-based options. A common myth is that quinoa is too high in carbs to be good for diabetes. But here's the truth. While quinoa does contain carbohydrates, they're packaged with fiber, protein, and minerals that blunt their effect on blood sugar. Compared to white rice, quinoa produces a much flatter glucose response, and when eaten with vegetables or lean protein, its impact is even gentler. One gentle caution: because quinoa is high in protein and certain minerals, It may not be suitable for people with advanced kidney disease who need to limit phosphorus intake. For most diabetics, however, quinoa is safe, healing, and highly beneficial. It costs around 60 cents to 80 cents per cup cooked in the US. Quinoa is a little pricier than rice, but its complete protein, rich mineral content, and proven effects on blood sugar make it well worth the cost. These three rices prove one thing: diabetes doesn't mean giving up rice, it means choosing smarter. Brown rice keeps your sugar steadier, wild rice adds protein and antioxidant power, and quinoa delivers rare, complete protein your body truly needs. But remember, it's not just what you eat, it's how you cook, cool, and pair it that makes the difference. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these three rices will you try first? Drop your answer in the comments. I always enjoy seeing what my viewers are adding to their plates. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like it, subscribe for more science-backed diabetic nutrition, and share it with someone who thinks rice is off limits. Because when used the right way, even rice can become medicine for your body.